Okay. Hello, hello. Spoon, how are you?
Sorry,
There you go.
my bad. Forgot to unmute. Yeah,
We've been there. We've all been there multiple times for me. Remember that one episode where I was muted for like 10 minutes
yeah,
and I didn't even know it? Oh, that
yeah.
was tragic.
It happened a couple of times where you were muted for a little bit, but that was the longest one for
That
sure.
was so bad. I was like, wow, 20 minutes, huh? Um, so anyway, we're on episode 54 of the podcast. We're still trucking along. I have a new microphone, which is pretty exciting. I hope it sounds good on stream. I'm not kidding, about an hour trying to just configure it correctly. So hopefully it's good. If it's not, well, it is what it is. Well,
Sounds good to me,
we'll
but I don't know how it sounds
yeah,
on stream.
we'll have to keep tweaking it. So anyway, we have a lot to cover today. We have obviously our normal news, but we also have game releases. Tomorrow is the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, and we had reviews come in. We had
Yep.
plenty of reviews come in, and they were positive reviews. So we'll talk about that. Additionally, we had some Halo news. We had some Blizzard news. We also had some news regarding EA, and we had some other, I'll just call lighter news that wasn't necessarily related to AAA's, but we captured something for Xenoblade, and also a sort of a Twitch small bit of news. So lots to cover. But Spoon, how are you today? Everything good?
Good.
Yeah.
I had a dentist appointment today, so that was fun as it always is.
Yeah. I almost feel bad for dentists though, because there's one doctor that nobody wants to see, and it's a dentist. Nobody likes him. I feel sad for them. I really do. It's tough being a dentist, just constantly being berated.
Look, they're the ones that chose to be a dentist. Like, look, I don't really get it. I wouldn't want to poke around in people's mouths all day, but there it is.
I'm sure it's a lucrative job as well. I'm sure you get paid a nice
Yeah, I,
amount.
I think it's well, it depends what kind of like dentist or
Sure.
like there are certain surgeons and stuff. But if you're like a general like office dentist, I feel like their job is pretty cushy. It's like a 9 to 5, and I think they make pretty good money.
Yeah,
So
but still,
like
nobody likes them. Like you ever get excited to go to the dentist? Not really. Not
nobody
really.
likes going. I mean, nobody like you know the bad part is the hygienist who just like uses those picks and like picks the shit out of your teeth, and it just
Oh, see, here's the thing
painful.
though. My dentist uses like a water jet system, so he doesn't poke around at all. The water jet does it. Very cool, like newish technology for dentistry.
Yeah.
He does the new stuff, which is great. So I do think there are some doctors that people, I won't say get excited for, but like the one doctor you always dread is the dentist, I feel like. So I just like try doesn't go to the dentist. You should try going once at least.
You should go to the dentist at least once and make sure there's nothing catastrophic going on.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just once if you have the ability.
Don't
If you're
don't want
insured.
don't want your teeth to fall out.
Yeah, if you're insured and you have the ability, go once. I mean, really, like you should at least go once, just so they can tell you, yeah, you're good, or you have 6 rotten teeth. You should get those fixed. we should deal with that. Okay. Anyway, outside of dentists, hopefully your appointment was okay at least.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
the hygienist wasn't fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of painful, but
Sure,
that's how it is.
but still, yeah.
Um, yeah. Also, there was a Steam sale started today for the
Oh, okay.
like Lunar New Year or
Mm-hmm.
something. Um, and for anyone who is friends with me on Discord or sees me on Discord, I've been playing the first Total War Warhammer quite a bit this week,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one was on quite a deep discount with all the DLC with the sale. So I purchased that as well as all the DLC for the first one. So
No, yeah, I do know that the Lunar New Year is next week, Tuesday.
Mhm.
I want to say, yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm sure Kate would fact check me on that, but I think it's Tuesday. Um, so yeah, there's a Steam sale. Obviously, games are doing some events, and I mean Genshin Impact. I'm playing. They're doing an event.
Is it the
So
same stupid lantern right thing they did
no,
last
it's
year, or
it's
is it
slightly
different?
different. It's slightly different, I think. Yeah, the other one was really bad. I think this one's slightly different. I haven't played enough to tell you if it's good or bad, but it is different. Is different quests and stuff. Can't decide if it's bad or not. We'll see. Overwatch got new skins. Yeah, Overwatch. Blizzard does stuff for Lunar New Year. That's nothing new. So that's. But yeah, the sale lasting for a week. Check it out.
Yeah,
I think I'll check it
pretty
out.
good. Yeah, there's some good stuff. I know. I think I saw Tales of Arise was like 20 or 25% off. So anyone who's on the fence about that, you get a little bit. I think Humankind as well is like 25-30% off.
That's
So
good.
get a
Yeah.
little discount on that for people who are on the fence about some of the games that we've talked about on the
Right.
podcast.
So okay, let's go through intros, and we can obviously talk more about the Steam sale. Even next week. Like it ends on Thursday next week, but we can always like chat it up at some point before then.
Yeah.
So let's go over and do an intro, and then we'll get into the news. So intro is, guys, please look at the YouTube. Actually, I will say our activity's been good for the people that have been sort of doing what I recommended. Thank you. I actually do realize and understand that it is mighty tedious to do some of the stuff that we're asking, which is like go to the videos, check them out, comment, like, and all that. That is actually surprisingly tedious for people to do. You got other stuff to do, play games, go to work, do literally anything else. Like there's a lot of options at your disposal. So for those of you that are checking them out, going and clicking through them, and even just like liking them and watching them to some degree, we appreciate it. And more support is better. So please continue to engage with that as best you can, if
Yeah,
possible.
and for me at least, like most of the videos I used to just like click on them and click like and be done. But this time, at least this past week, I like clicked on the video and just let it run in the background while I was like studying or something. I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, I'm
So
not
YouTube thought I watched the whole video. Obviously, I didn't
right.
actually watch it, but I let it run the whole length.
Yeah. So yeah, that is like what I do at this point. I'm not advocating for anybody to watch like the 2 hour raw video completely in the background.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
Especially if you're here on like watching
yeah,
us live, you don't need to
you
watch
already
the
know.
freaking podcast twice.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it twice, but like, it is like a bonus to have people, I will say, just watching it in the background or just having it on in the background to let it play out. YouTube really likes that. They really like that. So they like a couple things, obviously clickbaity content. They like, and people that actually watch videos though will get recommended. Like I've been recommended our podcast videos way more since I just started letting it run in the background. So that's like the kind of stuff that we want. Um Obviously we're not doing like massive clickbait titles. Like these titles aren't clickbaity. The thumbnails like I make in pretty quickly in a little site that I use, but nothing about it is super clickbaity. So we're really hoping that people support just by doing this to the content. But yeah, we'll keep doing it. I'll keep putting on the timestamps. The timestamps were up on the previous episode's news, so you can just like pick and choose what you want to check out, and we always appreciate it. So, any other intro thoughts? I know tomorrow you were thinking about doing some Pokemon, but
Yeah, I my copy is shipped out with Amazon. It should get here tomorrow, I would think, unless there's some sort of issue with the shipping. But it's being delivered by Amazon themselves and not like UPS or one of the other crap services.
sure,
So, I anticipate it'll get here tomorrow. If I do stream, it'll be in the evening, probably after dinner, probably around like 7 Pacific or a little after.
sure.
If I do stream. So yeah, I'm thinking about streaming my at least parts of my playthrough of Pokemon Legends Arceus that comes out tomorrow, as we mentioned already. So yeah, if people are interested in seeing that, stop by. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to stream. It's possible that tomorrow I gets to that time and I
Mm.
don't feel like it, but I will try to if I feel like it.
Okay. Well, if you do, obviously just post and hopefully you guys will show up for that That'll be nice. And the game got good reviews. We'll talk about it. Game got good reviews. There's a couple mechanics in the game that I think are interesting. So it might be something worth checking out before you decide if you want to get it or not. But the reviews that have come in are good. That is, from what I've seen, they're good. So, okay. Let's get into news. I've got us hopefully on kind of a nice little on the rails for this particular thing. So we're going to start with Steam, go to Halo, go to Blizzard, since Microsoft owns both of those properties now. And then we'll go to Pokemon and EA and all that jazz. So let's start with Steam. So Steam announced that the Steam Deck, which is their handheld system that you can run Steam and play Steam games on. I don't actually know if, I'm sure there's more to it than that, by the way. I'm sure there's more you can run there. But that is going to launch and start shipping out February 25th. So if you were in the queue previously to get the system and you were first in line for that queue, then lucky you may get your system in end of next month. That means you also have to like confirm and purchase the thing, by the way. You only put like a $5 deposit down, so you got to actually complete the purchase.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They're not going to ship you something you didn't pay for.
Exactly. So make sure you do that if you really wanted it. Otherwise, don't forget, you'll lose your spot. That's just the first wave, though. Second wave, I would imagine, will take another month or so. Yeah, I don't have really much. We've talked about the Steam Deck before. It's a cool idea. The system's like $500, depending on what you get. It's going to be more expensive than that.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about it, but I thought the base model was really crap. It didn't have enough storage space for me. I feel like in order for this thing to be worth it, you would either had to get the second or the third tier. I don't remember what the difference was in terms of the storage
second
space.
tier was like 512 or something like that.
The third tier might be like a terabyte or something.
Yeah, it was something like huge to make it worth it. The first tier was like 64 or something. It was something like abysmal.
Yeah, it's like you could put like one game on that and you're done.
You could put like one
it depends.
decent game on there, but nothing else, which makes no sense. Then there maybe it was like 256 or 512. I don't remember. But yeah, I think it's a cool system. So the fact that it's launching is great. There's a lot of games on Steam that I would love to play handheld, so it's a cool idea. And
yeah, there's also a lot of games on Steam that I would never want to play handheld.
Correct.
They're a lot of the the strategy games that I play like right now, like Total War or any 4X game, Humankind, Civ, Crusader Kings, any game in that vein, I would never want to play on a controller.
Right.
I would want a keyboard and mouse. Or
yeah.
I need a keyboard and mouse.
Certain strategy games you don't want on a handheld. It's not as effective. But XCOM is playable on a handheld, right?
XCOM, sure. And something like Super Robot Wars 30, that would be a great game to take on the go.
Yeah, there's games like that I think are good. Like, you have upcoming games too, like Coromon, for example, like a Pokemon kind of, I'll say clone, but it's not really. That's a great game to take on handheld. Like, awesome game, some stuff like that. Very, very cool system. So that'll be launching into next month for those that are actually in line to purchase it. But yeah.
Again, I think it's good for literally any game that doesn't require like a keyboard and mouse to play. So again, my biggest one are those like strategy games that I like to play. But everything else, action games, adventure games, shooters,
and
other types like turn-based strategy games, like strategy RPGs, basically, would be fine. But
you know what's crazy?
There's just a few types of games that I don't think it's good for, but for the most part, it's a cool idea, I think.
You know what's crazy, though? Another console, Skyrim's on another system. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I know,
boom.
Right?
Skyrim's released on another system.
They'll make like a Steam Deck version or something.
Skyrim Steam Deck.
Yeah.
It's a version that can be playable on Steam. It's optimized for Steam Deck. It's like, okay. I'm happy this exists, actually. It's expensive, but for a handheld, it is expensive. I'm fully aware of that, but the capabilities of it, I think, make the price worth it.
I mean, it's a handheld PC, basically. It might as well be.
Okay, let's move on to some Halo news. So, two things. Thing number one, Halo Infinite is the biggest launch in franchise history with 20 plus million players to date. Now, obviously, that's probably accounting for like multiplayer plus campaign. It's not separating the two. This was a free game for multiplayer players, so I think that has a definite impact on that number. But still, very good.
Yeah, I don't know how they're counting. Like, is it if you downloaded the game, they're counting you, or would you have to like boot it up and actually play it once? Like, I don't know. Like,
who knows? But 20 million plus players for a game that was released 2 months ago is really good. Like, that's really good.
That's a lot.
So obviously, not all of them are quote unquote paying players, right? Some people are still completely free to play, but I mean, it's still a good, like, it's still a number to be happy about. It's the game. I think at this point deserves a success. It's a good game. So, good job, Halo. And then the other bit to tie it all together is, in season two, excuse me, you can earn credits in the battle pass. They'll let you earn credits for the store specifically, right? In the battle pass. But you have to buy the battle pass though, right? So if you purchase the battle pass, you will get credits for the store.
Did it say specifically you have to purchase it, or will they actually be on the free?
Credits will be earnable in season 2's battle pass. That means you'll be able to earn credits as part of the Halo Infinite progression. I'm just gonna say this. They're gonna put it in the paid tier. I'm sure they're gonna put most of it in the paid tier.
You might be able to get a little bit on the free tier, but I'm sure you'll get more if you do the paid tier, or maybe you won't get any at all unless you pay for it, which kind of defeats the fucking purpose if you ask me. But
it does. No, it does completely. But and also, like, again, they still need to work on that battle pass. It's not very good. Also, reducing prices across the board on the store. We don't even know what that reduction of prices is. It could be a credit. That's a reduction. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be, that crazy, but the store's prices right now are probably a little bit higher than you would want that you would expect. So assuming that they're true to their word and they're going to be fair in reducing the prices, I mean, all that's good news.
Yeah, I think I honestly never thought the prices were that bad. Personally, there's some things that are probably overpriced, but there are other things I thought were fine. My big issue with the store, personally, is the rotating, other than the event stuff, which makes sense that would be limited time, but just the rotating carousel of crap on the store that's like, if I want to buy a particular skin, that's not part of the event and is just on their rotating carousel, I have to check back like every day or every week. It's just fucking annoying. I'm like, can I just buy anything that I want that is purchasable for the most part? I get it if you want to do specials here and there, and the event stuff makes sense, the event content, if that's going to be limited during if it's gonna be limited during the event, that's okay. But other than that, I find the rotating carousel of items in the store very, very obnoxious.
Yeah, no. The thing is, though, that rotating carousel items for a battle pass or store, excuse me, at this point, it's actually normal. That is a normal thing to do now. Is to have a rotation every like couple days of items in a store. Like, at this point, a lot of games do it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just pointing out that, like, that is what we have to expect now, is when a game has a storefront like this, and let's say it's a multiplayer centric store in the vein of like a Halo, and like a Fortnite, and I'm sure Apex Legends is the same thing. They will have the store rotate even non-seasonal items because you don't want to miss out, right? So the FOMO, right? FOMO. So that's like normal. I'm not advocating for it, by the way, but that's somebody made it a thing and everybody's copied it. Oh, I'm sure Call of Duty does it too. Yeah. So it sucks.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
somebody
to
figured
me,
out it's a good idea.
I'm sure it. Yeah, I'm sure it works on the thing of like impulse buying. Basically, we're like, oh, I see the thing that I want is on the store. I better buy credits now and purchase it now. But to me, and again, I'm probably in the minority here, and they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. But to me, it's obnoxious and it makes me less inclined to buy stuff because I'm like, I don't like the way they do this. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, I'm not it's just I hate to say, but this is how it is. And it
yeah,
sucks.
I know it's how it is, and I know
I hate
they're
it
not
so
going to
much.
change it. But I
I
think
hate
it's
it. But
stupid and annoying, and it makes me not want to buy anything because it's stupid and annoying.
yeah. And it's not going to change, sadly, but hopefully you get a price reduction, and at least it's like, okay, yeah, I have to check every day, but prices are reasonable. That's all you can hope for at this point, because they're not gonna change that, because that's too good of I'm gonna say too lucrative an idea. Not good, lucrative is probably the better way to put it. So that the hope is that they reduce the prices to the point where, like, okay, this skin being X amount of dollars is reasonable. Like, if they ever got to the point where like skins are $5, I feel like people would be jumping for joy. Assuming they're like reasonably nice skins. Like, obviously, like high quality skins of a certain kind, be more, but nothing to the vein of like Valorant $50 to $100 skins, right? That's, it is what it is. So anyway, okay. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I think it's good. Hopefully, the second battle pass or the battle pass in season 2 will have better stuff than the first one, especially on the free tier. But we'll just have to see. I mean, they're saying they're gonna do it, and we'll just see what it looks like when it comes out. We're not really gonna know until it comes out. So,
okay, let's keep going on Blizzard now. Two things for Blizzard. Thing number one. Well, one of them is not specifically Blizzard, but it's related. So, first thing, Blizzard announced it's working on a AAA survival game. But it's just working on a survival game for PC and console, set in a new universe. Okay? New universe, which is okay. They got another new IP coming. And I was reading some stuff on Twitter. I think I don't have the Twitter link, but Jason Schreier was one of the people that mentioned this. Like, people internally are excited about this idea and this game.
Yeah.
And people are just talking about how they've played the project already to a certain degree, and they're excited about the vision and the world. So I'm not going to hold out too much hope. That being said, but could be interesting. I mean, I've played some survival games, not a lot, but some. And I saw somebody mention this regarding Blizzard. Blizzard takes genres that are not stabilized yet and kind of flushes out a game for them. So what I mean is, like, okay, Hearthstone. The online TCG market for card, was just not there at all. And then Hearthstone comes out, and it just blows everything else out of the water, to the point where Hearthstone is still the online TCG to play. Overwatch,
and then everyone tries to copy Hearthstone after Hearthstone came out. Like,
Overwatch comes out. Obviously, Team Fortress 2 exists, but Overwatch, like, kind of puts some new stuff in there. They put some new stuff in there. They take the arena, the arena shooter, and they like flush it out and bring it to like a more mainstream audience, and people start copying that. But like even StarCraft and Warcraft RTSs, flushing out RTSs. So yeah, that's the thing, is survival games are not super flushed out or stabilized. There's not one survival game that like everybody just like universally agrees this is a survival game. This is it. So like, and even MMOs too, like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was the MMO for the longest time, and still, maybe arguably is to some people. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what Blizzard does. Is Blizzard used to just be the ones that's like, oh, here's a genre that doesn't have any stable game that everybody thinks is universally great. We're just gonna kind of sneak in there and make this game that completely changes the genre. So,
Yeah. And when they tried to not do that basically and take a genre that was already established in the MOBA genre with
right,
like League of Legends and Dota 2, they made Heroes of the Storm. And while Heroes of the Storm we liked and I thought
yeah,
was a good game, it couldn't, it just League of Legends and Dota 2 were
right.
already too
It,
entrenched. They couldn't get any ground really. Like
yeah, it was too stable. The market had already been stabilized by two other games. Blizzard's not very good at that. Blizzard's not very good at going into a market that's already there and being like, okay, we're going to be the new major player in it, and that they don't do that.
I don't think many companies are very good at that. I mean,
Right.
people and they just kind of companies try to do it, but when there's a major player that everybody likes, why would they drop what they've already put so much
Right.
time into for something else? Like,
Right. It's yeah. No, it's difficult. So that's why. But Blizzard's really good at taking a market that's like the Wild West and going, okay, we're gonna bring order to the West. We're gonna bring order to the chaos. They're really good at that. They used to be, like even Diablo, like action RPG Diablo, like systematically became the action RPG. Isometric, RPG. Just like everything else didn't matter anymore until Path of Exile. But like long time, it was Diablo. So, assuming Blizzard does what they're good at, which actually I think is kind of a question mark at this point, considering all those people that did all that stuff are more than likely gone by now, for one reason or another.
Last one was Overwatch in 2015, right?
And there were, and there were some, we'll say, good game design folks on that. We're not going to say they were good people or not. Who knows? But I think like this is what Blizzard is good at. So some part of me thinks, okay, Blizzard's really good at this, but then another part of me is like, but Blizzard's also been really shitty the last couple of years. So I'm not sure how much faith I have.
I mean, they haven't released anything in a long other than their crappy remakes,
right? Which have been kind of crappy. Like not like
they've been pretty crap. Warcraft 3 Reforged was really bad.
That was really bad. Diablo 2 Remastered was better, but still not there.
Yeah, Diablo 2 Remaster was okay, but it was still not great. It seemed like.
And
but they haven't released an actual new game since
Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah, I mean it's been a really long time.
Yeah, I'm tentatively excited because this is what Blizzard is really good at, but at the same time it's Blizzard. How much faith do I really have in them right now? But this is what Blizzard's good at. Blizzard's good at taking the Wild West and being, we're going to bring order to the chaos. And this survival games is like a huge Wild West right now. Like there are so many different survival games that like people jump on and then the new one comes on, they jump on that one. There's no like definitive survival game. There are definitive MOBAs. There are definitive like FPS shooters out there. There are battle royale games. There are definitive battle royale games, which Blizzard didn't really jump on. There's a definitive card game, but there's no definitive survival game. So somebody could come in like a Blizzard and do this, and Blizzard might be the company to do it. But I don't have too much faith in their abilities right now. Even with Microsoft kind of swooping in to try and save the day, I still don't really have a ton of faith yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to think what. I don't think I play any like straight survival of the game. I guess it's like the only thing I can think of. I haven't played it, but like Ark Survival Evolved or whatever it's called. I don't know what other ones there are.
Ark. There's like Conan Exiles. New World is technically like kind of a survival game to some degree. It's a little bit. Oh God, there are a lot. I just. There was one by the creators of Ark that they tried to make, and it was like not very good or something like that. It was like a pirate game, pirates. Oh shoot, there's plenty. Like I know there are plenty. Like people just like I see a survival game pop up, and it was like, oh look, another survival game. And 7 days, 7 days to die. Yeah, that's right. Just try and crew replay that one. Yeah, there are plenty. There really are. And it's just like,
Yeah, I
but
guess I'm just not.
nobody plays a definitive one. It's not like if I were to tell somebody what's a definitive survival game, they wouldn't have an answer besides the one that they're currently playing. They're just like,
Yeah.
when I say, like, if I ask anybody what they thought, like, that's at least knows the term MOBA, I guarantee they're gonna be like, oh, League or Dota, but more than likely League. They're gonna say League.
League or Dota. Yeah, probably League of Legends.
Right. So, if you ask Battle Royale, Fortnite, it's easily just Fortnite. So,
Yeah.
Warzone,
Fortnite.
obviously, and Apex Legends are there, but
Yeah, Fortnite is the big one. Then you have Apex and Call of Duty, which are both there.
they're there. They have a place. But the survival game genre is ready to be taken by someone. Like really, really taken by somebody. But nobody's really been able to get enough footing to the point where it's like, this is like a definitive, you have to play survival game. I mean, like, no, Valheim. What's it called? Valheim. That's a survival game.
That's right, Valheim.
And that was really big. So maybe Valheim was another one that people might say definitively is kind of the.
I feel like it was
game.
big for like a week, and then nobody played it anymore.
It was
like,
really big for a little bit,
like,
but I mean, it was big for a while. I don't know how many people are still playing it, but yeah, Valheim was a game. That was a survival game.
That game exploded out of nowhere.
It really did. It really did. But again, the other issue with survival games, and you're welcome to disagree with me on this. Anybody that's a survival game person, but survival games do not have good graphics. From my experience, the graphical quality of survival games, and I know it's difficult, but they're not good. They're really not good. I'm sure there's a huge challenge with that. But if somebody came in with like really nice graphics on a survival game, I feel like they would immediately have a big upper hand.
I mean, I'm sure Blizzard's will look good with the money they're gonna have behind it.
Right.
Like,
and Blizzard has a certain art style that they work with that's really like nice. It's really appealing. Blizzard's games have a certain style to them that's like really appealing most of the time. They're very good with their design as well. Yeah, survival games just have terrible graphics. I'm sorry, they're so bad, and I just like, it's a survival game, so like you kind of like, it's sort of like an MMO where you're like, yeah, it's MMO though, they can't have great graphics, right? Like MMOs are so big, like you can't have amazing graphics, but I think survival games could afford to have a little bit better graphics, and Blizzard could do it. They have good design chops for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the other Blizzard thing was Warcraft and StarCraft devs they raised a bunch of money to make a RTS for, using Unreal Engine 5. So they're using the thing that we constantly tell people to use, but nobody wants to use it because they have to pay like $10. Not $10, but you know what I mean. They gotta pay a little bit of money to Epic. So, I mean, if it's the same folks that made StarCraft 1, 2, Warcraft 3, all that jazz, awesome. That's the right group to make an RTS game. They got a lot of money put into it too, so $25 million is not a small amount. That's a nice amount of money to really invest in something like this, and I hope it goes well.
I agree.
So
RTS is kind of a dying genre, but
yeah, it's a dying genre, but it has a really hardcore base.
Has a really hardcore. I mean, the games are they just have a really, well, they have I feel like they have both a high skill floor and a high skills, like an even higher skill ceiling. Like they're hard to get into. There's a lot of like micromanagement required in RTS.
Oh, here's an interesting note. I'm looking at the article again. Riot Games invested in this.
Oh, okay.
PUBG, the publisher of PUBG, also invested. That's interesting. That's kind of funny. They're like, Riot Games invested in this little this development studio. That's interesting. I find that really interesting. that they would invest. Not that it's like a bad thing or anything like that. Just it's interesting. They're gonna put a stake in there for this kind of thing. But I think it's good. I mean, if there's a quality team behind it, there's a good chance there's a better chance it'll succeed.
Yep.
So, oh, speaking of survival games, I'm sorry, I have one more survival game. You remember Dream World?
I mean,
come on now.
That scam, yeah.
Dream World is the thing. They got new screenshots. I checked their website like a couple days ago.
Oh, they
Dream
actually
World
released new screenshots.
Yeah, there's new stuff for Dream World. I should maybe another time I'll dig it up and we'll chat about it.
It's an absolute scam.
100%
scam.
It's still being worked on. They're hiring for developers. New grads welcome, from what I saw. They're hiring people. So
I don't care. It's still a scam.
Okay. Anyway,
even if it actually comes out, it's still a scam because that game
it is.
Just looks awful.
It is a scam. The guy conned his way into getting money, and he like basically gets to sit around and really like sit around, pretend to make a game, and make like a good salary on that. That's a dream. That's a dream.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's a dream right there. It's like what's his name, Yandere Dev. Like he just gets to sit around and make a terrible game and get paid for it. It's great. Okay. I have Pokemon Arceus stuff now. The reviews for Pokemon Legends Arceus came out, and they were good.
There's like some like little high pitched like screeching coming from, I don't know if there's background noise or if it's your mic, but
I don't know.
Okay.
There's a vacuum on somewhere.
Oh, that's probably it.
There's a vacuum.
Yeah,
so
that's probably what I'm hearing.
Get excited that there's vacuuming happening. I can't tell, like on OBS when I stop talking, there's nothing.
It doesn't come through unless you're talking.
Oh yeah, then of course, because I'm
I'm sure it's the vacuum.
It's coming through on Discord. Yeah, it's coming through on Discord because on OBS I've actually configured the microphone in such a way where when I'm talking, it's really only me coming through. But Discord doesn't let me do that because Discord is an amazing platform that has unbelievable customization features for voice and when audio comes in for the input. Unbelievably great. So it's exciting. Right. Anyway, sorry. Pokemon stuff. Yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with the vacuuming, my friend.
Yeah.
That's your price to pay for no reason at all. But the reviews for Pokemon are good. OpenCritic has an 86 for 20 critics. Metacritic is 85. Perspectively, that puts it as, for this particular year, let's take a look. For this year, that puts it as one of the best games.
I mean, not much has been released so far this year. It's been a month.
Take it easy. Take it easy. It can still tout. It is the best game out so far this year.
Like Elden Ring is coming out in a month, and that game's gonna get like 10s across the board.
No, it's gonna be 100. Right. Elden Ring's gonna get 100. I can almost guarantee it'll get 100.
If Elden Ring doesn't have a meta in the 90s, I'm gonna be surprised. Actually,
Elden Ring will get 100, and there will be a lot of people on Twitter that I may have to just mute for a while. Mm-hmm. It is going to be crazy how many people. It's a good thing that, I hate to say this, but it's a good thing that Elden Ring didn't come out in November, actually, because nobody would have, everybody would have failed. No, not November. Everyone would have failed.
Yeah, literally everyone.
Everyone would have failed that. But this game got excellent reviews from critics. An 85, 86 is definitely nothing to sort of I overlook. I think that there's a lot of interesting things in this game. Actually, I like the concept of having like agility and strength based moves for priority. So there's some interesting things in there. Just with that on. The only problem I've ever had with this game is the graphical quality, the FPS, and also the fact that the design on some of these Pokemon is just, it's a head scratcher. But the fact that this thing is getting great reviews is awesome. I think
I
that
am.
people wanted something like this for a long time. So good to see good
Yeah,
reviews.
we've said this. People were asking for this open world Pokemon game for a very long time. Um, and it looks like they delivered. I mean, I back when we originally covered this game, when the original trailer came out, we were not very hot on it. We
No.
were, the first trailer was pretty crap, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
the frame rate, like the models looked terrible, the frame rate
Yeah.
looked terrible, the game looked terrible, and we're like, oof. And basically what I said is like, well, that didn't look very good. This game needs a little while in the oven to be better, but I think it's a cool idea, and if they pull it off, I think it'll be really good, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong if it is actually good after that first trailer.
Right.
And as it went along, the trailers looked better and better. I was like, okay, it seems like they've fixed some of the technical issues they had in that original trailer, et cetera, et cetera. And here we are. The game is coming out tomorrow, and obviously critics have had it for a little while. And the game, I mean, some other people have had it for a while because some stores broke street date apparently, and there's leaks. But yeah, I'm very happy to have been proven wrong about this game, that they pulled it off, and or supposedly, I haven't played it myself yet, but supposedly they pulled it off, and this game is pretty darn good.
Yeah. No, I was not high on this game at all in the first trailer. The first trailer looked awful
Yeah,
because
I agree with you. It didn't look good at
it
all.
is just like, okay, this thing runs like garbage. Like no matter what, it just runs like garbage. The most recent trailers have definitely shown that has been cleaned up, which is great. I think there are certain battle mechanics in the game that are interesting. Like I said before, I'm sure the music's going to be fine, like good, not maybe not amazing, but good.
Pokemon always has good music.
It has good music, yeah. There's some bangers. I I think it's good that this is something that people have wanted for the longest time. So the fact that
Hmm.
it's actually well made is really really nice because this if this had really not worked out and flopped, yeah. That would have been a pretty massive blow to any sort of like, are we going to get any more of these open world Pokemon games? This at least opens the door. Obviously, we have to see
Oh, I'm
sales. Game, Nintendo will see sales and be like, okay, well, this open world game really worked out. Maybe we do another.
I'm sure. Well, I guess I can't be 100% sure, but the way it's looking, this is Pokemon. It's getting good reviews. People are saying they like it. It's a fresh new twist on the
Right,
Pokemon formula. I am all, I would be very surprised if it didn't sell very well,
right.
just for the fact that it's
Yeah, it's
Pokemon and
Pokemon.
it's something new.
It should sell well.
Um, and I would be very surprised that after this comes out and they see the sales, they don't immediately greenlight a sequel if they're not already like thinking about a sequel for
Yeah,
this, like, or another. I guess sequel isn't the right word because Pokemon,
Pokemon.
they'll probably hit a different region. Basically,
Right.
it'll be, you know. But I'm pretty confident. I can be pretty confident at this point that this Pokemon Legends is going to be the next spin-off of spin-off series of the Pokemon series, or
Yeah.
next type of game, and they will probably, beat it to death like they've done with every other type of Pokemon game. But it's Pokemon, so it's still going to be popular, and I'm glad they're starting out on the right foot here. And I guess one thing that I'm interested to see is part of the reason that like the review scores and people are liking this so much is that it's like, oh my god, it's something new for Pokemon. Like, well, one, it's something you've been asking for a long time, and
Right.
it's something new for Pokemon. It's
Right.
not either a remake of an old gen or a new gen, which is just like a new region with the same 8 badges and thing they always do. Um, so yeah, was it like, I'm wondering if there's part of the reason the review scores are so high is because it's just like this like breath of fresh air effect for Pokemon,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I mean, like this game needed more formula changes, and I think it just needed an open world game, and this seems to be both. Um, I do think there might be some bias regarding like, oh, this is different, so I'm gonna give it some. But you never know. I mean, reviewers do have biases. We know this. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's not even like a hidden thing. So I we'll see. When you stream it or you play it, you can tell me, but my biggest complaint with this game is the graphics. I just the Switch games just piss me off.
Yeah. The game doesn't look very good. Like
it doesn't.
The,
if it plays well,
like the Pokemon models look good, but the environment does not look that good.
Yeah, that is what I'll say. Actually, that is a good way to put it. The models are fine. Actually, the models are perfectly fine. The environment is a tragedy. So
there's a lot of low res textures in like the grass and the mountains and everywhere basically.
Yeah, hopefully the game runs well, but the gameplay's good. So that's if the if the gameplay is good, that can definitely overlook a lot of other things.
Yeah,
for
sure.
So, okay, let's talk about Respawn really quickly. Respawn's making more Star Wars games. Also, as a note, I told you this, Spoon. DICE is not making another Battlefront game. That is worth noting. One of the Respawn games is a first-person shooter, they said. There was a first-person shooter, another Fallen Order game.
Jedi Fallen Order, yeah.
Right, and then there was one other that I'm missing. Why am I missing the third one?
I don't remember. It was an RPG or like a strategy game or something.
Shoot, I don't remember the third one. But yeah, one of them was a first-person shooter, and Battlefront's a first-person shooter game. So either they're just completely bailing, EA's completely bailing on a Battlefront series, or they told DICE, hey, why don't you go focus over here on Battlefront? Because that's what they said. We're going to have somebody else do this. So
yeah, it says, sorry, they're partnering with BitReactor, a recently announced team founded by former developers from XCOM
strategy game.
FireX. Yep. So it's a strategy game. So we have a shooter, we have a follow-up to Jedi Fallen Order, and we have a strategy game.
Yeah, and it says former developers from XCOM studio Fraxis Games. And Fraxis Games really likes their strategy games. So
that's like all they make.
Yeah, they really like it. So I would imagine it's probably going to be like an XCOM style Star Wars game, which I'm not opposed to.
I could see either an XCOM. It'll probably be that because it's, from the XCOM studio,
right.
But FireX also does Civ, so I could see like a 4X like Conquer the Galaxy type thing with Star Wars.
Oh, that'd be. Oh man, that would be bold. That'd be super bold. That'd be super bold. I'm not opposed to that either, but I think XCOM is safer. XCOM kind of game is safer. But that like 4X Star Wars game would be really interesting.
I would love to see like they would never get this, but there was actually a game when I was a kid that came out. It was called Star Wars Empire at War, and I think they kind of tried it. I was too young to really like get it. Like I thought it was like an RTS, and it had RTS battles. But then from what I remember, at least, there was like an overworld, like, base building and, that more like 4X style thing going on. So, I mean, I think it would be cool to have like a Star Wars game that's like Total War, basically, where you have the overworld that's like, there's some base building and property management and like light, maybe not as heavy as 4X, and then there's some like RTS battles that you can do as well during it. Like I think that would really work. Well for Star Wars personally, but
it's so funny because like it's interesting with Star Wars. Like Lord of the Rings has these big epic battles, right? In their movies, they have these ton of these epic battles. The epic battles that happen in Star Wars are all space battles. Like ground battles are generally like guerrilla warfare, which is super interesting, except for the prequels. The prequels had like that massive battle in whatever the second movie, Clone Wars. But like most Star Wars on foot battles are just like guerrilla warfare, which is actually, I kind of like that about Star Wars. It's like any epic, like massive war, like battlefield is actually in space. You're doing a space battle.
Yeah.
But all the ground battles are like guerrilla warfare. You're just like going around like because the rebels never had like a lot of troops, so it
There
was
was
always like
Hoth. There was Hoth too
that's true.
in
Hoth was like
Strikes
the
Back.
one. Yeah, Hoth
That
was
was
one.
that was a pretty big battle.
That was pretty big. Yeah,
But
I agree with you. That was pretty big battle. Okay, the Hoth, I'm wrong on then, but I don't know. I've always liked Star Wars because it was like guerrilla warfare. Like the rebels never had a massive army, so they had to do guerrilla tactics.
no, yeah,
And
they can't fight the Empire.
the only large scale battles were in space, which is like okay, any large scale battles happen in space. If there's some kind of like ground based attack, it was like guerrilla warfare. So like a total war game for Star Wars would be interesting, but it'd have to be like for me, it would have to be space. I think having a ground troop based total war game for Star Wars would be weird for me to look at.
I think you would have both.
You'd have to have both. I don't know.
Again, I don't think it would necessarily be like total war. You wouldn't have to go that scale.
Right.
But what I mean is that there's like a overworld component,
Mhm.
and then there's like a battle RTS component
sure.
as well.
Yeah.
So
I
guess XCOM has that too. It's just a little like it's smaller scale in XCOM. You have the overworld map that you deal with, and then the missions that you do with your like 4-man squad or whatever. So similar idea, I guess. It's just smaller scale in XCOM because they're small squads basically.
Yeah, and that to me makes a lot of sense for that actually.
For
obviously,
Star Wars, yeah.
we don't obviously know like what they're gonna set it in. Like, are they gonna do like actual Star Wars quote unquote movie kind of stuff, or are they gonna do just some like offshoot of Star Wars?
They rarely. I feel like the games and like a lot of the other media rarely tackles the same time frame that the movies do. Usually they pick some other like
they pick something else,
different time frame in the Star Wars canon.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of unexplored stuff in Star Wars. Yeah. Like it's like this massive thing it's like Star Wars is like a wild west of just like this discovery of content. Like
because
you can just do whatever.
If they're given the liberty with the Star Wars license, they can literally say, well, it happened in this time period and whenever.
Yeah.
And they could just pretty much make up whatever they want.
Right. Like, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna
I'm sure they have to get approval from Disney at this point, probably. But
Disney has to say yes or no.
We're okay.
They have to say, yeah, we're okay. Yeah. So, but it's I mean, I think like a Star Wars XCOM game would be great. I'd be super curious if they're like, okay, you tried Battlefront, DICE, Respawn, why don't you do it? Respawn's had a more success with games with shooter games. I'm not so sure we can argue that at this point. DICE is currently kind of in the doghouse right now because Battlefront 2042 is
Respawn only did. Oh, I guess they have Apex. I was thinking they just had Titanfall.
They have Apex and Titanfall, and Fallen Order was from Respawn. Respawn's currently in a good spot. DICE is the problem, which we're actually going to get to in like 2 seconds. Any other stuff?
Yeah, I'm excited. Respawn for the most part has made, actually not for the most part, all of their games have been good. Titanfall 1 I really liked, and it was really fun. It was generally well liked. Titanfall 2 was good, it just didn't sell well.
Right.
Because the marketing for it was crap. And then people like Apex, they found their niche in the battle royale. It's not as big as Fortnite, obviously, but nothing is.
But it's there. It's definitely there.
It's there, and it still exists.
Yeah.
And Jedi Fallen Order was good. It's like, we'll see. I hope they can do right with the Star Wars license, because to be honest, in the almost 10 years now that EA has had the Star Wars license from Disney for making games, they haven't done much right with it.
No, they haven't. They've really like messed up way too many times. And Respawn's like, no, we got this, guys. I think EA did breathe a nice sigh of relief when they're like, wow, this single player game actually worked super well. Can you do another? Yeah.
And hopefully EA has the same mentality with, all 3 of these games that they did with the first Jedi Fallen Order, which is to keep their grubby hands off of it and let Respawn make a good game.
Yeah. No,
I'm sure with the shooter, I'm sure it's going to have multiplayer, and I'm sure they'll squeeze some microtransactions in there, almost certainly.
Of course.
But, But for the most part, just let Respawn make the game they want. If you want to throw some cosmetics and microtransactions in there, okay, whatever, fine. But you know, let Respawn make the game that they want to make. Don't mold your game around
Right.
crappy microtransaction systems like they did with, or what it seems like what they did with Battlefront 2.
They did that with
basically.
Battlefront 2. Like that, the way that the multiplayer progression was based on, it was 100% built around the multi-transactions, which is, excuse me, microtransactions, which is not a good thing. He's like, that's not how you should do it.
And they built the entire game around that instead of like letting DICE make a good game and then like putting the microtransactions on top. So,
well, speaking of DICE, Spoon, Battlefield 2042 launched a zombie mode and then had to pull it right away because it broke XP gates. So yeah, we were just talking about EA developers and DICE being one. DICE is in the doghouse. I think EA has this like board somewhere. It's like companies doing well, Respawn, and there's probably a couple, any of those sports developers, they're probably on this good side. Yeah. And then there's Doghouse and like BioWare, DICE. It's just BioWare and DICE listed there. And then there's like a frowny face. Because like, man, you guys kind of have fucked up a few times recently, and you're gonna need to win us back. And BioWare they edged a little bit to the side with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They like moved a little bit. BioWare's like, okay, you did a good job. You can move a little bit out of the doghouse. You can come out for a little bit.
That was like Dragon Age Inquisition was good, but then Andromeda was dog shit.
Right.
And then Legendary Edition was good, but that was a remake, so let's see them make a good new game.
EA did mention they were happy with the results of it. So BioWare got a week out of the doghouse. They got a week out. DICE they're in completely. EA's like, no, you're in. You're in here. You're completely in here.
The last 2 Battlefield games have been awful. Basically, the launches were really bad.
Like Battlefront 2's launch was bad. The last Battlefield game, not 2042, the previous one was bad.
But that was just Battlefield 5, I think.
Yeah, I think it was that, yeah. 2042's launch has been horrible. Like, DICE is terrible at game launches of late. Their game launches are horrible. And I feel like we're going to get a post in about... Oh, by the way, there's like Twitch drops for Battlefield 2. There's like Twitch drops for it, which is hilarious.
It's also on sale on the Steam sale if you want to buy it. Well,
I think we're going to get some like post in... I don't want to say 6 months because I think that's super drastic, but I think in 2023 we're going to get like this post and it's like, okay, we're not making any more content for Battlefield 2042. Sorry. Like, they stuck with Battlefront and it seemed like it worked out for them when they stuck it out. But, like, I don't know how much money Battlefront 2 was going to make after that point. I feel like we're going to get, like, the same thing. And they also talked about doing... Somebody posted... We're not sure if it's true or not. Battlefield 2042 is considering a free-to-play model.
Yeah, that's an oof.
Which is scary already.
That game has been out for
2 months. 2 months, I think. 2 months, maybe three. Don't remember.
Yeah, I think it came out like the end of October, so yeah, like 3 months.
But wow, that's bad. That is really horrible. I mean, there have been games that went free to play, and it kind of like that's like free to play is literally just like desperation.
Yeah. The game sucked. Like, this is what happens when you release crap games. People, the diehard fans buy it, and then they say, "Oh, well, this game sucks," and they forget about it.
Yeah,
it's what happened with freaking Cyberpunk. Like, people bought it, and CD Projekt's like, "Yeah, we're gonna fix it over the course of a year and a half, whatever." But people forgot about that game. Like, yeah, this game sucked. Okay, next. Like,
yeah, you ruined the first impression, which obviously matters a ton. Like, that's not the end of the world, though. The first impression isn't the end of the world, but matters a lot. It's really hard to dig out of that first impression, but I think we can ask No Man's Sky about that. Horrible first impression, dug themselves out. Everybody likes them now.
Yeah, I mean the problem is though, like, okay, No Man's Sky, you give them a pass more, I think, because it was like a new developer, it's an indie developer. There's like, I think it was their first game, and it was bad at first. People didn't like it. They didn't deliver on their promises. They fixed it eventually. This is an established series that
Right.
has, I don't know how many games, like 10 games more. I
Hmm.
don't know. Um,
It's got plenty.
and it's just been on a downward trend. Like the games have just been getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And the game should get better and better.
True.
And the problem is, this isn't the sports game community where they don't care. Even
Mhm.
those games get worse and worse and worse and more microtransactions, but sports game community, for whatever reason, doesn't care.
It's like, because it's like the one game they play.
Yeah.
They're just like, we just want to play a football game,
Yeah, we
and
just want football.
it's just like, we just want to play football, and like if it kind of works, we're okay with it.
Yeah.
Same thing with basketball. It's like, we just want to play a basketball game. That's all we do.
Yeah, and where was I going with this? Yeah, Battlefield, it just the last like 3 releases for Battlefield, each one has been worse. Like,
Mhm.
I think the last 3 were Battlefield 1, which was the World War One game, which I
Mhm.
heard it was it was okay at launch, but it wasn't great.
Mhm.
Battlefield 5, which was bad,
That was
and
horrible.
Battlefield 2042, which was even fucking worse.
Yeah, this has been really
Like the
bad.
last 3 games have not been good releases, and they've gotten progressively worse. Like how like, are they just? I don't know. Are the developers just like bad? Is EA just not giving them enough time? Like I don't know what the deal is, but they need to like I don't know.
I just I think I think it's obviously going to be a combination. I think EA doesn't give people time, particularly when they're like Battlefield kind of games. They're like, okay, you got 2 years. If you can't do it in 2 years, too bad. You got to just release something.
Come
Um,
out yeah, and they've always gone again the same thing, especially the last 2 Battlefields. Live service model comes out in a broken and buggy state. They say they'll fix it eventually, and maybe it gets better over time, but as we discussed, comes out first impressions bad, and people forget about it for the
right.
most part. They just don't play it,
Yep. I
and
yeah.
people move on to something else. Like this year, what happened in the major player shooter genre? Battlefield came out, it was bad. Call of Duty came out, not necessarily bad, but like people are starting to realize it's just the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
and people are getting tired of it.
Yeah, people got bored.
People are getting bored of Call of Duty, they're getting tired of it. Halo comes out, everyone's all right. Let's jump to Halo. Those 2 suck. Let's jump to Halo. Let's everybody try free to play Halo multiplayer. Yeah, let's jump on that
And
shit.
it's actually
Like,
good. So there's like, oh,
yeah,
this actually is good and it works. Okay, let's do it. I mean, like, Halo picked the perfect time to come out. This was the perfect year for them. People were tired of COD. Battlefield 2042 is a stinker. Everybody's like, well, we haven't had a legit Halo game in a while. And Halo's so different from these games. It's so different from these games as a shooter. It was a breath of fresh air for everybody.
yeah.
They're like, oh,
And
thank
I guess
God, something different.
now that I'm thinking about it, that's like the difference between um like this and like the sports game. One of the differences, the sports game community, you have one choice for a football game, and it's Madden. If you want to play a
True.
football game, you got to buy Madden.
You have
That's
to
it.
buy
Same
Madden. No,
thing.
that's right.
And with soccer, it's
FIFA.
FIFA, or I mean, there's eFootball, but that was a joke.
Yeah.
So, um,
For basketball,
yeah,
it's
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 pretty much
basically
2K.
2K. It's basically
Yeah, it's
2K.
2K,
EA tried to come back with NBA Live. It didn't. It just
and
didn't
it
work.
was poop. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, in the sports game community, you get one option, and they release the same. In
Yeah.
other game genres, there's always going to be another shooter. Like, Battlefield is a little different, but I don't know. From what I'm hearing, they're like, seems like this new one, especially, they were like streamlining it more and making it more like Call of Duty, and the Battlefield faithful don't like that. They
No, they
want it to be
don't.
Battlefield.
They
They want
want
it
to
to
play
be
Battlefield.
what they want to play Battlefield. They don't want to play Call of Duty. If they want to play Call of Duty, they go play fucking Call of Duty. They
Right.
wouldn't play Battlefield for that. Like,
Which again is why Halo's a breath of fresh air, because everybody's like, well, COD is boring. Battlefield 2042 doesn't play like Battlefield. Halo plays just like Halo, and it's different. It's just
good
different,
as
and it's
opposed to
good.
the other two, which are bad.
It's just this is different. It's good, and it's available for free. Like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah. Not only is Battlefield 2042 like going away from Battlefield, like it's buggy and like it doesn't work well, and
It
it's
doesn't work
just
well.
like crap.
It just doesn't make sense either. Like the game just fundamentally doesn't make sense. It's about like an apocalyptic world that's waged in complete warfare, and they're cracking these wise ass lines. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? What is going on here? Why are they making these sarcastic comments like this is Fortnite? This is not Fortnite. Fortnite is a goofy, cartoony game. They get to make those silly comments and dumb stuff. Battlefield 2042 is supposed to be like this like ravaged world that is just like forged in war. People are just dying left and right. The world is in utter chaos, and they're just like cracking these wise ass Fortnite lines. And he's like, okay, but shouldn't you be like completely silent right now in your end game screen? And then instead they're just like, that was great, right? It's just like, no. What are you talking about? I don't. Yeah.
Like next time, eh?
Better luck next time, eh?
Okay.
It's like,
what are you doing?
It's like, dude, Russia just got nuked. What are you happy about? What are we doing? I just like, it's so funny that the wise ass comments from these characters kill me. I'm just like, who did like, and I know why they do that. They're like, well, everybody likes Fortnite and sarcastic Marvel-esque comments. Let's just make Marvel characters in a Battlefield game. And I'm like, but it isn't Marvel. Why are you doing this?
Marvel, and it's not cartoony. You don't have Marvel
It's not
characters.
cartoony.
You don't have Naruto in your game. You don't have Wonder Woman and Spider-Man and whatever.
Obviously, this isn't like a one-to-one analogy on this. That's like if I booted up Halo and it's just like a Naruto headband was on Master Chief. You'd be like, this is out of place. This doesn't make sense. This is Halo.
And Master Chief was yelling "Believe it" every time he killed somebody.
It's like, no. It's like, no. And you just saw Master Chief then do a Fortnite emote dance. He's like, no. It doesn't make sense. Like, what are we doing? This isn't Halo anymore. Like, it's just, people are like, this isn't Battlefield. This is something weird. This is like a combination between COD and Fortnite. And somebody thought that this was a funny joke. And they got away with it. But anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
Ghost. Believe it.
Like, that stuff works in Fortnite. It really does. Like, seeing Naruto in Fortnite completely works. It's a cartoony game. Like, it completely works. Seeing Naruto in Halo would piss me off. It's already weird enough in Fortnite with Naruto holding a gun. If he was in Halo as like a skin or something, the community would be like, 343, what are you doing? This doesn't make sense.
I kind of need to hear the Halo announcer go, double kill, believe it.
Oh god. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Okay. You posted this one for our news, but I why don't you talk about this one? Because you said like the composer for Xenoblade Chronicles announced there's a chance his next project, there's like another, he's announcing his involvement in another project.
Yeah, I mean, this is more like Hopium. We've been waiting, we heard sometime last year that, he was working on stuff for the new, Monolith game, Xenoblade game. We were waiting for the announcement, never got it. This article is basically saying like, yeah, some project that he was working on is going to be announced, or he thinks is going to be announced next month.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is saying there is going to be a Nintendo Direct next month, and it's possible that Xenoblade 3 or whatever Monolith game is going to be announced in it. That's Hopium. But
okay, I see what's happening.
This guy doesn't only work on Xenoblade. He works on other stuff too. So
okay, so I see what's happening. So the Xenoblade community is on hopium right now that his like post that there's a chance that the project he's involved with is going to be announced is the Xenoblade 3 announcement or something Xenoblade related.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 3, just something Xenoblade related. Okay. Because
just Monolith's new game, whatever it is.
Okay.
It might not be called Xenoblade. I mean, it'll probably be Xenoblade something just because they have the name recognition now, but we'll see. Like,
yeah. I mean, it would. Yeah, I mean, it's something Xenoblade, something else. Okay, I got it. At first, I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, but now I get where the hopium's coming from. Okay, got it. I'm on the same page now. I'm figuring it out. Well, I mean, there should be a direct next month. There should be.
I would think. We were saying that the last week or two, saying either this month or probably next month. That, and Nintendo will do their early year direct where they talk about like spring releases and maybe announce a couple new things for the summer or later this year or maybe even early next year. Like, so yeah, I mean, I would expect a direct in February probably. I think it makes sense, but
we won't know until the day before, though.
No, we won't know until a day before. And I'm hoping that a new Xenoblade and a new Fire Emblem are announced, but I'd like to get at least one of the two. So I've been saying that the last like 3 Nintendo Directs, and I've been disappointed every time.
Yeah,
so,
Fire Emblem probably has a higher probability, but I mean, who knows? I only say Fire Emblem has a higher probability is like if a direct is like, unless it's like an indie direct. Is Fire Emblem higher on the totem pole than Xenoblade? Probably.
I think so. It's a much longer running series.
Probably.
So I would think so, but
yeah,
I think Fire Emblem's more. I would think Fire Emblem's more popular than Xenoblade, but I guess I don't know that for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, a new Fire Emblem would be nice. Xenoblade would be fine if they got rid of core crystals. That'd be great.
I'm sure they will do something completely different, but probably just as annoying.
Oh God!
Because they love to.
The core crystals made sense for the story, but good freaking God, anything else would have been preferable.
Monolith loves to make their I don't think it won't be gacha. Like they won't do that.
Xenoblade gacha! There it is, mobile game. Monolith's working on mobile game Xenoblade. It's a moneymaker.
I would rather they announced nothing than that.
It's you guys like Xenoblade, right? Here, it's a gacha game, mobile. And oh my God, I would pee my pants laughing because I'm just picturing everybody just collectively going, no! The collective sigh. Of a gacha game.
Dude, I'm fuming. I'm fuming right now.
I'm just I don't know. I'm just making fun, but yeah, I think there will be a direct next month, and I feel like something along the lines of a Fire Emblem, maybe this. We'll get it.
Takahashi said he would retire before he did a mobile game.
Okay, then maybe not then. Okay.
Yeah, he's the lead producer.
He'd rather retire. Well, he doesn't have to work on he doesn't have to work on that. It could be somewhere else. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be so funny. I'd be laughing.
If they announced a Xenoblade mobile game, I would be in shambles. Like,
I would laugh so hard at that. It's like, oh, how fun. Okay. The last thing that we have is a very small thing, but I don't know how long ago it was initially announced, but affiliates on Twitch were given access to more standard emotes, and now all affiliates, I'm just ignoring the partners part because like I can't imagine partners all didn't have animated emotes by the time this post was here.
Yeah.
They have animated emotes. They're great. I'm super happy about this personally. I think that this gives a lot more to affiliates. For partners, I'm going to be honest, who gives a fuck? But for affiliates, this is really big. For partners, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But for affiliates, it matters a lot. It gives people more reason to support. So personally, I think this is great. For partners, they just don't care. Like, whatever. You're a partner, right? you probably have like 10 emotes or more. Like you're fine. But the animating emote's great. And Twitch has this cool thing, by the way. I just want to point it out. Twitch has a feature when you upload for an animated emote that lets you upload a regular emote that isn't like a GIF, and they have like a built-in tool to make it a GIF. Basically, they'll make it animated.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is great. I was like, oh my god, I was so worried about that, but it's great. It's not super complex or anything, but it's great. So,
but I'm sure like this one that like changes colors is something like that.
It
right?
is.
Like,
so that's one of them. There's like
there's a color changing one.
Yep. There's like 6 or 7 options, but I like this one. It's a cool like party wraith one. So very cool. Small thing. This was announced some time ago, and it obviously rolled out fairly slowly, but yeah, this is all. I mean, it's great. It really is great. So Twitch misses Twitch misses, but when they hit, it is a cause for celebration because sometimes they hit and it's great when they actually hit the ball. Sometimes they hit home runs, but I feel like there are more occasions recently for me that they've struck out. So
yep.
Okay, that was all our news. We went through everything. So
Indeed.
Let's go back. There's a couple things we have left to discuss. Let me close out some of these windows because I don't want them anymore. And let's go over here. So the other stuff that we were going to discuss was I had something for Rainbow Six Extraction. And then whatever time we have left, we can obviously discuss other things. So hopefully not super long, Rainbow Six Extraction discussion is Rainbow Six Extraction did not come out to like this round of applause from the community. Most people, based on YouTube dislikes, you can't see them anymore, but they were there, did not want this game and did not like it. They're like, what is this? And for me, I didn't think this game made sense. We talked about it.
Yep.
Zombies in the Tom Clancy world is weird. Tom Clancy's like universe feels more realistic. It's like it's grounded in reality. Why are there zombies here? It didn't make sense to me. Okay, and I still believe that. It still makes no sense to me having zombies in a Tom Clancy universe. That being said, okay, everything else about this game is fun. This game scored a 72 on OpenCritic, and I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree with that score. I think a 72 is not generous enough. I'm not saying this is a 90. I'm not going to argue that. This game has problems, but I think a 72 is harsh. I really do. Let me talk about the things that I think are good in this game. Number one, it looks like Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege looks great. Rainbow Six Siege plays well. This game plays, I won't say exactly the same because that's not correct, but the way you play, like being able to break down walls, being able to create small windows in walls, like when you melee them, tactics-based, combat, where whenever you go into a situation where you have to, like, let's say, hold your ground for a minute, being able to, like, reinforce walls, setting up traps, like, doing all this stuff, Rainbow Six is great, and that's what Extraction has, and it's great. Not everybody plays that way, but I know we do. But some people just run around shooting their guns like it's Call of Duty, and all the power to you, but I like to play this like I used to like to play Rainbow Six Siege the 5 times I played it, which is I want to treat it like it's a stealth game. Except when I'm playing as Sledge. Then I just like to sledgehammer walls.
Smash.
Yeah, you just like Smash, but the game looks great. The gunplay of the game is great. It's Rainbow Six Siege gunplay, like it's great. Rainbow Six Siege has good gunplay. There's some decent variety in objectives. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but there's some stuff where you have to hold position for a certain amount of time. You have to find certain types of objectives. They're called nests. You have to find certain nests to destroy. You have to, like, put tracking devices on nests. There is a boss objective. You have to defeat a boss in one case. The objectives I think have good variety, and all of them play a little bit different. I think some of them play similarly, but there's plenty enough variety where it's at least interesting. All the operators are unlockable via just playing the game. All the equipment is unlockable just by playing the game. There's like objectives within each area that you go into, and they're called studies. So if you go into one of 4 areas and you have some studies to complete, like you kind of focus on that because you want to progress the area, so that you can unlock more stuff. Oh, okay. And that's like part of what you're doing is you're like, okay, I want to do these studies, but at the same time I want to complete the objective. And in between there, let's say like during an objective, let's say you go down and let's say you die. You don't technically die. You go, if your teammate's able to take you and extract you, great. But if your operator is stuck in the map, they can just get stuck there, and then your next mission is to extract them. So when you go into another mission, you have to go extract them, which is cool. I think that's cool. It's like, okay, you died, but your next mission, you have an opportunity to get them back. And if you fail that opportunity, you get them back, but they have like no health. And you lose experience. So you lose the experience that they had gained. So it's kind of like, it's an interesting take on this idea. And also, like when an operator gets hurt, they get hurt before your next mission. So you may have to use a different operator. So you can't just like one trick. Unless you're really good, then you can. So there's some interesting little tidbits that differentiate this game from maybe some other things. The zombies have some variety. They're okay. I won't say they're great. They're okay. Probably needs more zombies, different types of zombies, but they're fine for what they are. The music in the game is pretty good. I mean, it's like Rainbow Six Siege type music. It's good. It's fine. Nice ambiance music. Playing with friends is fun. I don't know. I think like people giving it a 72. I think you're being harsh. Rainbow Six Extraction is like probably going to be one of my surprises of the year.
Yeah.
I really do think so. This game it's got some replayability. You kind of want to keep replaying to progress. There's a ranked mode. It's like kind of, I won't say it's like a horde mode, but you have to like keep going through various levels, and rather than in the regular mode, there's like 3 levels you have to go through, 3 different objectives. In ranked, there's like 9. So you got to like really go through this gauntlet. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games where it's like, yeah, it's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. And I'm gonna protest the 72. I've seen some people say it's boring, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a slow game. You play slow. Rainbow Six Siege is kind of a slow game. Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, was a slow game, but it was interesting because the tactics were great.
I mean, it's tactical. It's not Call of Duty. You don't run around with your like a chicken with your head cut off.
And some people do, and I'm like, look, all the power to you, but the game wasn't necessarily built that way. And if you're playing it that way, just understand that the game was built for something a little different, because it's like Rainbow Six Siege, and the price tag is $40. It's essentially like getting a DLC for Rainbow Six Siege. So the price, I think, is reasonable for the amount of content that you're going to get. You're probably going to get about, I would say, 20 hours of content from this game. Maybe more. Maybe like 25. So the content is there. The time is there. It's fun to play with friends. It has problems. Like I said, the enemy variety isn't there. I think that there are some objectives that are too easy. There's like, I think there are some operators I don't like. I've played certain operators. I'm like, I don't get this operator. Like, this operator just kind of sucks. I feel like the balance is weird. There are some operators that you know are good, and they have like these really useful abilities, and you kind of lean into using them. And then there are some operators that just like throw a smoke grenade thing that's like a gas for the enemy, but like, I see a use case for it, but it's not very good. So the balance is not super there, for me at least. Also, the boss fights are not particularly stimulating. So they're just like, okay, he's charging me, dodge, shoot. Okay, he's charging me, dodge, shoot. Okay, he's charging me, dodge, shoot. Oh, he's using a stun grenade, go behind something. Okay, great. I don't expect too much, to be honest, but it's not particularly interesting. It's not like you're engaged in like an epic JRPG boss fight where there's the boss and there's like some ways to like break down a shield or something. So you have to like run around doing that while also evading certain mechanics and dealing with that. The bosses in this game are just like, okay.
Yeah, you just dodge his attacks and shoot him.
You just dodge attacks and shoot him. Like sometimes his weak point's on his back, so you kind of just have to flank him once in a while when he charges. Okay. I wasn't particularly stimulated. But I can't say I expected much. But I do think that's a negative. The difficulty's there. This can be a challenging game. So difficulty can be challenging in certain levels. I just don't like the bosses that much. But the difficulty can be there. So 72 is harsh. I'd probably give this more than a 75, but probably not too much past 80. I would say 80 is probably my maximum. But like 72, it's just like, okay. Like, good price, functions well, haven't encountered bugs, like stimulating enough where you kind of want to play with friends. There's going to be like this 2-week buddy pass system where you can get people to play for 2 weeks, which is great. I would say the only other downside is it's you have to use Uplay. And
that's true for any Ubisoft game. So
Uplay is kind of like cleaning up dog crap. Like you need to do it, but you don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't like it.
And it smells. It's just like, okay, like I have to do this, but I don't want to do it. But I have to. So yeah, I that's my pitch on Rainbow Six Extraction. I think for anybody that's on the fence or likes Rainbow Six Siege, you might like it. I think you just have zero interest in zombie games. Just stay away. You're not going to like it. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Also, if you're expecting Call of Duty, it's not Call of Duty. You can play that way, but it's not Call of Duty. Go play Call of Duty. Or anything else that you think is like Call of Duty.
Go play zombie mode in Call of Duty.
Go play Battlefield 2042. Turn your brain off with that, I guess. Yeah, I think Rainbow Six Extraction deserves closer to an 80, not closer to a 70, is my point. Because the game is like functionally better than I think the review gives it credit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a story. Well, it does, but it's a Ubisoft story, so you kind of just turn your brain off. Because it's not going to be necessarily there. So I guess that's another comment, but I didn't expect a story.
Yeah, so. I didn't expect a story from this game either.
Yeah. So okay,
just a kind of a fun like play with friends and shoot zombies type of game.
It's kind of what I expected from Back 4 Blood, but for Back 4 Blood, I expected more. This one's kind of nice. It's a little bit, I would say, better in the way to play with friends and like the difficulty spikes than Back 4 Blood. I know it's not the same game, but you know, Back 4 Blood I felt a certain way about. I felt like it was fun to play with friends the first time, but I didn't want to really play it again. This one's fun to play with friends, and I like to come back to it and have fun and do some of these like objectives at a higher difficulty. I like get to expand on my tactics, and there's a little bit more thought each time you play it. Of like, okay, how do I want to play this? Like, how do I want to play this room, this objective? Like, where should we reinforce walls? Like, what do we expect from the enemies? And yeah, like we've gone down a couple times. Like difficulty's there. So anyway, that's my thing on Rainbow Six Extraction. Please, if you're interested, I don't know, find somebody, get a buddy pass. It is enjoyable. I'm sure some people are not going to like it and they're going to get bored by it. Okay.
You said it's on Game Pass though.
It is. Right? It's on Game Pass. It's free on Game Pass. The only downside is you have to use Uplay.
Well, yeah, that's true. Even if you use Steam.
Yeah. Uplay is
poop.
Yeah, it's like stubbing your toe.
Or going to the dentist.
That's right. You gotta do it. I mean, except for Try. He doesn't have to do it, I guess. But you gotta go. You go to the dentist, but you really don't want to. Like, you don't want Uplay, but
it's just forced it. It's not a fun experience.
It's not really that. No, it's not. It's not fun at all. Yeah, that's all I have to say on Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it 1 thumbs up, not 2.
You mentioned to me that you were just kind of like, I don't know about offended, but upset that like Battlefield 2042 and this had like really similar meta scores.
Yeah, that pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
It pisses me off because Battlefield 2042 doesn't work as a game. Yeah. It just doesn't work. Battlefield 2042's Open Critic was 65, so it's not the same.
Oh, but okay. I've the impression I got that it was like really close, like it was in the low 70s as well.
Oh no,
65.
To me, that is close. That's too close.
It's close, but 65 is like pretty oof.
Battlefield 20. Oh no, Battlefield 2042's review should just be a middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Warcraft Reforged review or the Grand Theft Auto Remastered trilogy. It should just be a middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
That or it should be an Amazon box with a dog turd in it.
Or just a $sign for the company who is cashing in on you.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto one is definitely a $sign. It's like a $sign, and then the quote of it is like we saved money with this garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield 2042 was not saving money; they just really wanted money. No, like I think a 65 is way too close to the 72 on that. Like that kind of annoys me. I mean, I played Battlefield 2042. That game does not work. You really think I would give a game a 65 when an airplane does this on a building? You can't give that 65 anymore. You can't. You can't give a game a 65 when you see a hovercraft do this on a building. Can't do that. It no longer can be a 65 for me. It's like that is too cartoony to even get any respect from me. I'd expect that shit from Looney Tunes.
Yep.
Not from a shooter game like Battlefield 2042.
From what's supposed to be a relatively realistic military shooter.
Yeah, it's a joke. I just can't even, like, a 65 is so generous. That game deserves like less than a 50.
Better luck next time.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, sad. It's just sad. Very unfair. That's all it should say. Okay, so any other stuff that we wanted to bring up here?
I mean,
otherwise,
the only thing I've been playing is Total War Warhammer, which I could talk about for a bit, but I don't know. Like,
it's up to you. I'm also okay leaving early because I got schoolwork to do. So I'm in a bucket where I'm good. Also, just saying, like, if you want to talk about next week, totally fine too. Maybe if you had, I don't know how much time you put into it, but I mean, it's Total War. You gotta put a lot if you really want to understand the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've played like, what did I play?
He's checking.
I've probably played like 15 hours this week or so.
That is a decent amount.
It's a decent amount, and it's over only like 3 or 4 days. To be honest, it's been like pretty much every night I like after dinner I booted it up and played it until I went to bed.
Okay.
Definitely getting the little bit of one more turn syndrome with that game, like I do with 4X games. Like last night I, stayed up until like 1:15 when I probably shouldn't have.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you're a boomer too, so that's like crazy late.
I mean, not as boomer as you, but yeah.
To be fair, all jokes aside, man, 1 o'clock, can't do it. Can't do it. You at this point, I don't think you could pay me to stay up past 1 or past midnight. If you told me, like, hey, can you stay up past midnight? You'd be like, hell no. Too tired. Kiss my ass.
Too tired.
In college, I'd be like, yeah, 3 a.m. All right, I guess I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
But now, it's like, I'm like 11 p.m. God damn, I better start getting ready. It's late.
Time to go to bed.
Oh God, it's late. And I've been waking up not every day, but like almost every other day, and running like a mile and a half at 6. I wake up at 6:45 and start running at 7:15 ish.
See, you couldn't pay me to wake up at 6:45.
Yeah. So like my sister, well, that's because my sister, I go with my sister to run. So she wakes up early because of my niece. has to go to daycare at a certain point. So yeah, I'm up at like 6:45. We start running at 7:15. We were like a mile and a half. Not too bad, but yeah. At this point, you could I'd be very much fine waking up at like 7 a.m. for stuff as opposed to before. But now I'm like, wait, somebody wants me to talk to them at midnight? No, go away, get out of here. I've sometimes gotten pinged at like midnight, and I'm like, I'm not answering that shit. Get out of here. I'm not gonna look
Too
at
late.
this. This is late. They're like, oh, I stayed up. That's why I can't get like Try, Kuru, some other people I know. They're like, yeah, I was gaming at like 4 a.m. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Dude, that was Dodge. I don't know if he still does it now, but for the longest time, he would stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. every fucking day.
And here's what I have to say: you're a
understand.
psychopath. You're a psycho.
I mean, look, I'm a night owl. I like staying up late, but like never that. Like in college on the weekends, I guess sometime like occasionally I would stay up that late, but not regularly. That's for sure. Like,
oh no way now. If somebody actually told me I'm gonna stay up till 3 a.m. to play you in, I'd be like, I'll see you tomorrow, bud. See you tomorrow. No thanks.
yeah, I mean, midnight between midnight and 1 a.m. is like generally when I go to bed now.
Yeah, for me it's before midnight.
Yeah,
Midnight's the latest. I can't do past that. I just laugh in your face if you told me to stay up past that. I'd be like, no. Even if you told me it was like important, it's like no, it's super important. I need you to stay up a little late. I need some help with something. I go, there's somebody else out there that can help you. I'm sure there is.
I'll deal with it in the morning.
No. I was like, no. Thank you. Like, but I need your help. No. Well, no.
I mean, I think I would have a similar reaction if you asked me to wake up at 6 a.m. for something. Be like, nah.
And I respect that. I do respect that. I'm like, yeah, some people aren't going to wake up early. I get that. I don't get the people anymore. They're like, I'm going to go to bed at 5 a.m. and wake up at 4 p.m. It's like, dude, unless it's actually like you're a night shift worker, then I understand. It's like, okay, you're a night shift worker. That is your life now. But if that's not you, psychopath.
You shouldn't sleep during the day. You should sleep at night. As long as you're not a night shift worker, as
yeah. It's like, it's your job. Okay, I understand. It's your job that you have to do this life. I get it. Fine. But if that's not your life, why are you doing this to yourself? It's painful to see. So anyway, yeah, that's my that's my presentation on why people who stay up late past 2 a.m. are psychopaths. Crazy. You're crazy. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right. Well,
yeah, we can stop. As I said,
okay.
I've been playing Total Warhammer. I bought the second one and all the DLC on the Steam sale today. It was pretty heavily discounted. I think I got like, the game is usually $60 and it had like over $100 worth of DLC.
Wow. And you got all that for a good price?
I got the game and all the DLC and also all the paid DLC for Warhammer 1 because there's some carryover, like where you can play the Warhammer 1 stuff in the second one.
Okay.
For like 110, I think.
That's okay. Okay.
It was like over 50. I think it was over 50% off all said and done with all the Warhammer 1 DLC as well. Because
that's good.
That had probably another like, I don't know, $50 to $60 worth of DLC for that game.
Yeah, no, so, honestly, like I expect that to be like $200.
Yeah,
so.
all told, it probably would have been like $220 to $250 full price.
You gotta tell me how Warhammer 2 is. I actually own that game. So you gotta play that. When you play it at some point, let me know. You gotta tell me how that is.
I mean, yeah, I'll see how much longer I want to keep going with my Warhammer 1 campaign. I'm pretty far into it, so I don't really want to stop it. I kind of want to like try and finish that campaign or get at least as far as I want to in that, and then I'll probably uninstall Warhammer 1 and just play Warhammer 2 because you could pretty much play all of the Warhammer 1 content in Warhammer 2 for
Oh,
the
okay.
most part. If you own Warhammer 1 and the DLC for that one, you can play any of those factions in Warhammer
Oh,
2,
that's super
basically.
nice.
Yeah.
What a nice thing.
Well, there's
Actually,
there's the Warhammer 2 campaign. You can't play the Warhammer 1 factions in that one because that is like
yeah.
specific to Warhammer 2. But then there's like they have this free DLC that was called Mortal Empires, which is a combined campaign which combines the map
Oh,
from
cool.
Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2. You can play any if you own the DLC, for the faction, you can play any faction in from Warhammer 1 or 2 in that. And I assume they will do a similar thing for Warhammer 3,
Okay.
which is coming out uh in February.
No,
But
I think
I
that's
will
cool.
probably hold off. I'll probably hold off on Warhammer 3 for a while.
No.
There's a lot of content in these games. There are so many different there's probably like between 10 and 15 races or factions to play as.
Okay.
And then within each of those factions there's usually at least like 3 or 4 different like leaders that you can play as.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
which all have different start positions and different like starting abilities and stuff like that. So at least there's some difference between them.
Yeah,
But
there's like from what I've seen other people play it. There's like a lot. It's just like a
there
lot.
there's a lot of there's a lot of content.
Yeah.
If you like wanted to only play Warhammer 2, you could probably do that
Yeah.
because there's a lot of content.
Oh,
Um,
I've watched somebody stream it and it's like crazy how much stuff there is. It's all good. Like it's all good, but it's just like a lot.
yeah,
Um so yeah, like you have to if you get to tell me how it is. Like I want to play it. I do actually want to play it and try it, but I'd be curious to hear your perspective
yeah.
on it. Um when you get to it.
The battles like it takes some getting used to
Right.
because it's very different from other RTS and it's really important to position properly and like have good formations and flank the enemy when you can. Unfortunately, I'm playing I started with the dwarves faction because at least in Warhammer 1 it said they were the only faction listed as like easy starting positions. I was like,
Sure.
okay, this must be like one of the easiest factions to play, so I'll just play that first. And my problem with the dwarves is most of their units are like they don't have any cavalry.
Mhm.
Um, they have infantry, they have melee infantry, they have ranged infantry, and they have siege weapons,
But no
and
cavalry.
then they have their gyrocopters, which are like
Okay.
flying bombers, basically, which are
Yeah, yeah,
cool,
yeah.
but they don't have any cavalry, and they move. It makes sense. They're dwarves. They're heavily armored, and they're short. They move really slow. Like
There you go. Easy start position. Everything else maybe less so.
so yeah, and their faction mechanic, at least in Warhammer 1, it seems like they may add a little bit to it in Warhammer 2, is just obnoxious in my opinion. They have this thing called the Book of Grudges, and anytime some enemy does something to you, like if they take one of your settlements or if they like use a hero action and damage one of your settlements or one of your armies, you
Hmm.
gain a grudge against them, which if you complete the grudge, it you get some money for completing it, which is
Sure.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you let the grudge stay too long, there's this like meter that fills up, and like you get basically stability. It's called public order in this game. You get like stability penalties and like dwarf diplomacy penalties if you have too many grudges in your book that haven't been settled,
Sure.
basically. So
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's also like annoying. I had one grudge that was just persisted for a very long time because this dude with a really big army like came in and attacked me early on and then just like left and ran like into the back of their lands, and I didn't see them again for another like 70 fucking turns. So
So that grudge. Yeah.
that was kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, it seems annoying.
um so yeah, I don't know if I love the dwarfs as a faction, and I've watched some YouTube content, some tier list videos and stuff saying like, yeah, they're really not a very strong faction. Apparently some people like them. Obviously there's always going to be people who are fans, but yeah, a lot of the battles I like there's not a lot of tactics to be had because you just kind of smash your infantry into their infantry,
Hmm.
and then your ranged units do all the damage basically, and maybe you do some like attacking some of their backline units with your gyrocopters or something, and you have your siege weapons in the back, obviously, like firing at them. But with other factions, it seems like, especially the ones who have cavalry, you have to like constantly be microing your cavalry and like charging the enemy's flanks and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I've wanted to play it. I just like, yeah, it hasn't necessarily been like that high on the list of.
I mean, there's a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for the battles, and I don't think the tutorial in the game is very good at all.
Sure.
It's really simplistic. It tells you basic things, but I've definitely watched a decent amount of YouTube content to learn some of the more advanced tactics and advanced controls, to be honest, that like the game just doesn't tell you. It tells you how to move, it tells you how to attack, it tells you how to like put your guys in formation, but that's about it.
Yeah,
like,
there's other stuff that you need that it probably just like, okay, go ahead.
There's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of things that you need to like hold down Alt or Control to do, basically. So like, if you have your army selected and you hold down Alt and you click and drag, it just makes your army move in the formation you have selected. They'll just move forward in that formation, basically. So
that's nice.
That was like
they actually keep formation. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of advanced like things that the game doesn't explain well. I'm sure you could find it if you dove into the help menu and stuff, but it's way easier just watching a YouTube video. And
just get a guy video.
Tell you like, hey, here's some tips and tricks and some of the controls that are important and some things you should be doing, some buttons that aren't clicked by default that you should probably click on because they're pretty useful. So yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get into it, I definitely recommend watching a bit of like beginner's guide YouTube video type things to
for sure
figure out how to play it.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I think the game's cool. I still don't think I'm very good at it yet, obviously. But I just started playing Total War games, and some of Total War series has existed for, I don't know, 15 to 20 years at least at this point. So
oh yeah, no, it's been around. So they flushed out something for their audience for sure. Like, their audience really likes this. You got to get into it though, and you got to learn it. It's a lot. There's just like a lot to process. From what I've seen too, it's just like a lot of stuff. But it's like interesting, and it's really like something that people have sort of invested so much time into. So clearly something's working. Okay, you like tell me more about next week for sure. Like, really, because I have
a lot to talk about next week with Warhammer and Pokemon.
Yeah, well. No, that'll be the conversation next week for sure. Yeah, we'll save it for next week. For now, I think let's drop a little early so I can get a little bit more work done.
It's good.
But yeah, like, I guess as a closing, thanks everybody for watching. Whoever came by and said hi. If be sure to check out the YouTube stuff, the VODs and things like that. It'll get posted probably sometime this coming weekend. Be sure to check them out, support them, like them, comment, all that jazz. We appreciate all that. So, any other concluding remarks, Spoon, before we end?
Nope. I think that's about it. Again, keep a lookout tomorrow, and I guess over the weekend in general for Pokemon streams from me. If I do it, I'll definitely ping the Discord and the usual if I do. But
yeah,
keep a lookout for that, because I'm thinking I will do it at this point again. If I have a sudden change of heart and don't feel like it, maybe that'll happen. But I'm planning at this point. I'm planning on doing at least one stream for it tomorrow probably. So
cool. Yeah, no, let me know when you do it. I want to check it out. I got to do some other stuff, so it'll be a good kind of like background noise thing. Okay, well, let's close here. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow or during the weekend with Spoon playing Pokemon.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.